Good on that end. And here we go. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? It is Friday. It is a great day. As always, I like to start off my videos by saying I want to thank all the essential workers out there from doctors, nurses, scientists, teachers, truck drivers, grocery store workers, just everybody out there that, that's doing this whole, working as essentials right now and trying to make this country keep on going. I know it's not easy, and I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, but as long as we stick together, everything's gonna turn out fine. Everything's gonna go back to normal here very soon. As always, wash your hands before every meal and after every meal. If you're gonna cough or sneeze, cough on the elbow. And then always, I cannot stress this enough, hand sanitizer. Carry some hand sanitizer with you because that thing is a lifesaver, and that thing does wonders for the world. For the ones that are quarantined right now, I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. You guys are taking care of the body. You guys are taking care of the mind. Hopefully you guys are finding a hobby, whether it's, doing a puzzle, exercising, whatever it is. Hopefully you guys are doing it safely, and hopefully you guys are, trying to distract yourself from the unknown right now. But as I said earlier, if we all stick together, we all work together, and we help each other out, everything will go back to normal. And as always, just be safe out there. So let's get this show on the road today. Today we're going to talk about the NFC West schedule. The schedule release show was yesterday, but today we're going to talk about the NFC West. I have two very cool people as my guests today. Representing the San Francisco 49ers, you met him at the mock draft video. His name is George Martinez. For a quick reminder, George, say hi to the world again.
Hey there, how you doing?
There it is. There's George Martinez, everybody. And another special guest today, a really cool cousin of mine, coming all the way from Texas. But she is here today to represent her Los Angeles Rams. Give it up for my cousin, Lily. Say hi to everybody, Lily.
Hey everyone, and don't forget, cousin, born and raised in Southern California.
I know. I know. And then, she needs to go a little bit higher. Yeah, we'll see right now. But all right, so you know how it works. Yesterday, how it worked was we're going to start off with the division winner, and then we're going to go all the way to the team that came in last. So, George, you're going to be up first. Cousin Lily, you're going to have to kind of wait a bit. You're third up, so you're going to have to wait a bit, okay? But don't be afraid to, boo the Niners, boo the man. It's whatever. I ain't going to stop you. All right, George, you ready to get this started? You ready to get this started?
I am ready to get started.
Okay, so here we go. Week 1 for the San Francisco 49ers. They open up at Santa Clara going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. Kyler Murray last year was the number 1 pick. He won the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. He is no longer a rookie. Now let's see if he can elevate this Cardinals team to go up against a defense that is still intact. George, how do you feel about this one, man? Opening up against the Cardinals, that should be a good one, right?
I think that'd be a great one. The Cardinals have been doing a lot of work building up their team, and the last year when we played them twice, we almost lost to them twice. We literally won one game within the last 30 seconds of the game. And the second one was a bit more on our favor, but it was still a very close game. I am going to be having a heart attack during that game, majority of the game, if we don't have the early lead.
I mean, I'm expecting a good one here. I know, the Cardinals didn't have the best of records, but as I said yesterday, division games are so tricky because you just never know. It could go one of two ways. That's the thing about division games.
2019 Cardinals remind me of the 2018 49ers. They had the pieces, or they had a good set of players. They just weren't able to get those couple wins. Their season could have been flipped very easily.
Oh yeah, I mean, and this is going to be exciting. Let's see how Cardinals year 2 and their new regime goes. So, moving on to weeks 2 and 3. You guys are actually staying at New York because you guys got back-to-back road games against the Jets on week 2 and then the Giants. I mean, look, your division, it's no secret. Your division is the team, or your division in general is going to be the one that gets the most traveling. That's just the way it played out for you guys this year. But right out of the gate, you guys got to stay at New York against the Jets, Giants. The Jets having Sam Darnold, the Giants now having Daniel Jones due to Eli Manning finally calling it quits. I mean, what was your reaction to that? Because I would have been pissed having back-to-back East.
Eli retiring?
No, I mean back-to-back New York games. I mean, I would have been pissed.
I'm not actually pissed about it. I think it's actually fine. I don't think we'll be flying back home. I think we'll be staying over there and practicing somewhere in that area, like how we did last year.
I mean, it's just
first 2 games.
I mean, for a West Coast team to get comfortable in an East Coast time zone, I mean, I don't know. It never looks pretty, but you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, and then week 4, you guys got the Eagles, your first primetime game of the year, Sunday Night Football. Now, the Eagles were just a couple of years ago a team that won the Super Bowl. You guys just made it to the Super Bowl last year. I think this is going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to this one.
I'm looking forward to see what Carson Wentz can pull. If he says something up until week 4. Week 4, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole Wentz, healthy thing. I mean, they're right. They're right. He has been hurt before and he has missed some games. But I do expect if Carson Wentz stays, healthy, he plays. I think that Sunday Night Football game is going to be a good one. At least my opinion, I think it should be good. Then week 5, you guys stay home. You guys got the Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins really weren't, let's put it this way, they weren't playing win a lot last year, so they ended up getting Tua. I mean, what's your reaction to that one? I mean, that one, Garoppolo versus Tua, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Tua is already being deemed the best quarterback since Dan Marino, but I mean, it might be a little too soon for that.
You have another left-handed quarterback.
I mean, it's not my fault. I mean, that's just how it played out for the Dolphins. But, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this should be a win. And look, not for nothing. I'm going to just say this right now. To the NFL schedule makers and to the NFL, you guys threw the 49ers the biggest bone out there. All right? The first 4 out of the 5 games, they have teams that had a combined record of 21 wins, 42 losses, 1 tie. They really want you guys to get back to the Super Bowl. That's the way I'm looking at this. The first 4 out of 5, I'm like, are you kidding? 4 teams that selected in the top 10 in last year's draft. Like, that's a joke. The NFL just wants you guys to get back to the Super Bowl, man.
I mean, I'll take what I can get.
Oh well, yeah. You're a Niner fan. Of course, you're gonna get what you get. I mean, but here we go. This is the one I think everybody in this group right now is gonna enjoy. Week 6 at San Francisco. Rams, Niners, Sunday Night Football. Who's ready for that?
Let's go. This week 6 is gonna be the week. Week 6, I believe. Week 6 is, I believe, the first week where I think that we're going to reach that point where it's going to be back-to-back-to-back games where we're going to be tested.
I mean,
to see whether or not we can get back to the Super Bowl.
I mean, I can't wait. Cousin Lily, you got anything on this? You ready for that Sunday night matchup?
I mean, I'm nervous. This past year for me has been a little bit inconsistent, from the year prior to that. So, I mean, I'm just nervous in general, especially with, these 49ers last year. I mean, they were on fire, and if they're on fire this year, I'm a little nervous.
Well, we'll get back to the Rams in a minute. So, week 7, you guys got to go to New England. There's no more Tom Brady. However, I keep telling people this because a lot of people want to write the Buffalo Bills as the AFC East champions. My thing is, Bill Belichick, last I remember, he's still the head coach. He's won without Brady before. So I'm not going to write off New England just yet. I have to see if a team is willing enough to take that next step. But as long as Bill Belichick is there, I am not counting out New England out of this game.
I'm crossing my fingers for that game. Bill Belichick is one hell of a son of a bitch.
I mean, I don't know what it is. He just knows, man. It's like he knows what's gonna happen like 3 quarters from now. I don't know. He just knows. That's just the crazy thing about Bill. But you gotta respect that. You gotta respect that in him. Then you guys got another road game at Seattle. I know you're nervous about that one. You hate Seattle, and you hate going to Seattle.
Out of any team in our division, Seattle is the one I hate the most.
I mean,
I don't know if Lily can agree with me on that one, but Seattle, Russell Wilson.
I mean,
that's a bittersweet for me because he's so good. It's like it's like you hate, going up against him, but I like him when I'm not up against him. But it's always a gamble with him. You never know the outcome.
I mean, Russell Wilson, that dude's a magician, man. Like, that dude can.
We do know the outcome. We usually do know the outcome. They don't play in the first half, and then somehow they pull some shit out of their ass in the second half.
I mean, but that's been Seattle's MO now for at least the last 6 years. So, I mean, we'll see what happens this year. We'll see what happens. I mean, look, Russell Wilson got more weapons during the offseason. He finally got a little bit more offensive line help. This Seattle team is really scary. So, I mean, we'll see now. We'll see. But after the Seattle game, which I know it's going to be a bloodbath, it's going to be tough for you guys, but you guys have no time to rest. 4 days later, at Santa Clara, it's the rematch of the NFC Championship game against the Packers. I mean,
I feel very confident against that game.
So that's it. Like, you're expecting the same result from last year because everybody's kind of looking at it like, oh man, the Packers are screwed.
I didn't necessarily see the Packers draft too well, but they went ahead and got a quarterback when they have Rodgers. They didn't get Rodgers any weapons during the draft. Now, you can go ahead and include anything that they did get in free agency that I probably overlooked. But as far as I know, I'm still looking at the same Packers team from last year. I
mean, for me, it was understandable why the Packers had to add a quarterback. Rodgers is getting a little bit older. The Packers are they're not thinking for now. They're thinking about 3-4 years from now when Aaron Rodgers, if he decides to hang it up or if he decides to just say, you know what, I'm leaving. I mean, we've seen the story before. This is the same thing what Aaron Rodgers did to Brett Favre, and now it looks like the same book is being written. And I'm only hoping he goes to Minnesota just to piss off Green Bay.
I was just about to say that we're going to be seeing Minnesota Vikings legend Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, just to piss him off, I would love to see that. And then you guys got a 10-day rest. This is the matchup I think I'm going to circle for you guys this year because it was such a great game last year. At New Orleans, I'm circling this one. I think it's going to be another great game between you guys and the Saints. I mean, last year was great. This year might be even better. With added everything on it, I think this year's game is going to be just a little better than last year's.
I don't think my heart's going to take another game like last year.
Yeah, so I mean,
I really don't.
Hey, but you got to admit, that was a great game. That was a really great game.
As a relatively newish Niner fan, I can say that is my favorite game that I've watched, hands down.
So then, after the Saints game, you finally get a bye. After these 10 games, I mean, looking at the first 10 games for you guys should be in contention, for a division title again. The way it's looking like. I mean, look, Seattle might be a tough one. The Saints might be a tough one. I'm not going to count out New England. But everything else is kind of like the unknown. We don't know what the Cardinals are going to look like. We don't know if the Jets are going to regress or if they're going to get better. The Giants, same thing. We don't know if they're going to get worse. I mean, they can't get worse, and if they do, that's trouble. The Eagles are 50-50 with everything they've done in the offseason. The Dolphins, we don't even know what the game plan is for them. The Rams, I mean, we don't know either. They did some moves. This offseason, they let go of Gurley. Clay Matthews is gone. A lot of guys just left from the Rams. Other than that, you guys should be in contention to be like, look, we're in a good spot for the division. The only game I can see, Saints, Seattle. If you guys can beat Seattle at Seattle, then the rest of the I know that's tough to ask to win at Seattle. It is tough to do. But if you guys can get them there, the rest of your schedule, you guys could just clear it up, take the division again, and maybe get the number 1 seed again. Because after the bye,
I can see us being either 7-3 or 8-2 by week.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at too. I mean, at worst, 6-4, but I can't see 5-5. There's no way. There's no way. Not with this schedule that comes out. So after the bye, you guys come to Los Angeles at that brand new stadium, SoFi Stadium, which, by the way, I haven't seen it personally, but I've seen the pictures. It is beautiful. It looks beautiful.
It's going to be Santa Clara down south to me.
So you guys got to play the Rams at Los Angeles. That's week 12. Week 13, you guys got the Buffalo Bills at Santa Clara, Monday Night Football. Now, let's see if the Bills are for real. This is the team that everybody keeps saying, this is going to be the team that's going to take over the Patriots. Look, Buffalo's good. I'm not denying that. However, as long as Bill Belichick is there, I am not going to count them out yet. I will never count them out. So, I mean, the Rams are week 12, Buffalo Bills Monday night. Week 14, you got the Redskins. And that's what I'm saying. After your bye, it kind of looks like if you guys can handle those 3 games, then that's it. You guys are set. You guys are set. Then week 15, here comes the fun one. You guys have to travel to Dallas for a Sunday night matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. How do you feel about that one? That one's going to be so hyped. That one's going to be, remember the 80s, remember the 90s, where these two teams hated each other. And it's like, great, I have to hear this for a week.
For me, it's going to be, remember the time where you weren't born yet and these two had a rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, man. I mean, I saw the end of it, but I didn't get to see, the Joe Montana versus, Troy Aikman, the Steve Young versus Troy Aikman. I didn't get to see Jerry Rice trying to go toe-to-toe with Michael Irvin. Emmitt Smith was running wild. I didn't get to see all that. But we're going to get mentioned because it was such a great rivalry in the 80s, in the 90s. And people love history. So Sunday Night Football, how excited are you for that? Do you guys think your defense can handle that Dallas Cowboy offense? Because that Cowboys offense just got better this offseason.
Look, their offense got better, but our defense is just as strong as it was last year. It's not stronger.
Oof.
I know we lost. I know we lost to Forrest Buckner.
That was rough.
But with Kinlaw coming in, and from what I've been hearing and seeing, he's pretty much one of the best replacements for Buckner.
I mean,
I have very high hopes for this game.
And just to give you guys a little behind the scenes, after we were done with that mock video, I talked to George a little bit. He wasn't upset about the Javon Kinlaw pick. He just didn't think it was going to happen. Draft day happens. Go ahead, George. Tell him who was the first guy.
I wanted. Okay, I wanted a flashy player.
Okay.
I wanted that, a star player, that offensive player that just makes those plays that gives you something to watch, like at the edge of your seat.
And you know what, Javon Kinlaw, I can't wait to see how he looks in that 49ers defense. It is going to be scary. I mean, that's all I'm saying. The dude was a beast at South Carolina. I see him having no problem coming in and being a beast for the 49ers. Then your final 2 weeks, week 16 and week 17, you got the Cardinals at Arizona week 16, and then you finish out the year against Seattle January 3rd. Season's over.
This time at home. We are not going to the sink at week 17.
And you know what? A lot of 49er fans, like you and a couple of other buddies of mine, they were actually really happy that you guys got Seattle early this year, because it always seems now, for at least like the last few seasons, you always had to play Seattle at the end, and it always looked terrible. At least now this time, you got them at your house at the end of the year. So I'm pretty sure as a 49er fan, you are happy as hell.
I can say without a doubt that this game will be flexed until prime time. You heard it here first.
Like last year, again? Another prime time?
Yes.
I mean, look, overall, looking at your schedule, it's winnable. It is very winnable. Yeah, there's a couple bumps on the road, like the early East Coast games. You got New England, you got Seattle back-to-back. But after that, really, it's really balanced by home, away. You got to buy, then you got to go. Well, not really on the road, because it's only a 45-minute flight from Santa Clara to Los Angeles. 2 home games, 2 road games, and then you get Seattle. So, I mean, it's winnable. It's doable. And I see no reason why the 49ers can't pick up where they left off last year and possibly getting the number 1 seed again. They got the team. I mean, what's your thoughts on it? Looking at it now, what is your prediction for this year?
13-3, maybe 12-1.
Oof. I mean, and really, 12-4, 13-3, there's really no difference from it. So, I mean, I agree I think the worst case scenario for the 49ers literally would be 10-6. And even then, that's still good. But
not in this division.
Maybe not in this division, but at least you'll still be fighting for a wild card spot, and you might end up getting it, because the rest of the NFC really, it's getting worse. I don't know how that's happening. It's getting worse as the seasons go on. But I think worst case for the Niners, 10-6, best case 13-3 again, and you guys get back to the playoffs. I mean, for me, there's no reason why the Niners cannot pick up where they left off last year. So, I mean, and that was it. That's for the 49ers. Now let's move on to George's favorite second team in this division, the Seattle Seahawks. He loves those guys. He loves those guys, Seattle. He loves you guys.
I totally love the Ring City Division.
Oh yeah, I could tell by your voice. You totally love them. So here we go. Seattle again. They have to travel the most in this division. They have the most miles traveled. That's just the way it played out. And talking to people, they're very upset about it. But I'm going to tell you guys the same thing you guys told me for the last 2 out of 3 years when we had the most miles traveled. It's a simple game. It's either you're good or you're bad. So Seattle,
yep.
It's either you're good or you're bad. So don't give me none of that crap, all right? I don't want to hear it. So they got to open up on the road at Atlanta. Week 2, they got the Patriots Sunday Night Football. Then week 3, they got Dallas, which back-to-back home games between the Patriots and the Cowboys. Week 4, they got the Dolphins. Week 5, they got the Minnesota Vikings. Look, the Seahawks, I get it. It's a tough schedule. Just looking at this schedule right now, Atlanta, they can get on fire at any time. The Patriots, they're always in contention. Dallas might look good. Miami's the unknown, and Minnesota was in the playoffs last year. I mean, this could spell trouble for Seattle.
They have a rough start.
What was that?
They have a very rough start.
I mean, it's a rough start, but surprisingly, it actually gets worse. So after the bye week, they got to go to Arizona. That's an unknown. Week 8, they got the Niners. Week 9, they got to go to Buffalo. Week 10, they got to go to Los Angeles. Then they can't even rest because 4 days later, they got to go play the Cardinals on a Thursday night football game. And it always seems the Cardinals get these guys on Thursday night, and somehow the Cardinals always come out on top. So that's tough.
The Cardinals are Seattle's kryptonite.
And it's always on Thursday night. I don't know what it is. Whether it's they're at Seattle or they're at Arizona, it does not matter. It always seems that these guys get their number every time. Every time. Then week 12, they got to go to Philadelphia for a Monday night football game. Now, speaking from experience and visiting Philadelphia during that time, it is cold. It is terrible. People are mean. They are getting ready to throw snowballs at Santa Claus. They hate Thanksgiving. They hate life during that time of year. And I can't blame them. It sucks up there during that time of year. That's why I am so glad I am from Southern California and it's perfect weather all year round. Thank God. Because I would be upset too if I had to live in Philadelphia during that time frame. Week 13, week 14, back-to-back home games, Giants, Jets. Then they got to go to the Redskins week 15. Then they get their final home game against the Los Angeles Rams on the 27th. And then they finish the year at Santa Clara against the 49ers. Look, a lot of these teams, what I've seen after their bye week, it gets balanced. For the Seahawks, it's just a rough stretch from the beginning to the end. They are a good football team. They are a really good football team. My concern is you got a rough start your first 5 games. You get your bye week early. Then you got another rough stretch your next 5 weeks. Then you got to go with the Eagles. Then you got to travel to the East. Then you got to finish against division rivals. I don't want to say I could see Seattle taking a hit this year. I really don't. However, worst case scenario for the Seattle Seahawks, I'm just going to say it, 8-8. That is the worst case for Seattle. The best case, I mean, because it looks so bad. Like from beginning to end, it looks so rough for the Seattle Seahawks. Best case for them, 10-6, and maybe they get in the playoffs. But I mean, if they could just prove us wrong, then hey, I understand. You got Russell Wilson. You know, you finally got a little protection for him. You got more weapons for him. It's just, is that defense going to hold up? Is that offensive line going to hold together? Because down the stretch, that was Seattle's downfall. It was injury to the offensive line, and the defensive play just started to kind of dwindle because of depth.
And then on the running back. I
mean, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens, but I think worst case for them, 8-8. Best case, 10-6, and maybe they sneak in. So that's my take. I know I'm going to get a lot of comments right now, like right here, right now. How can you say 8-8? We have Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll's he's an offensive-minded genius. He knows what he's going to do. Look, I understand. I get it. You know, I'm not doubting Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's going to be great regardless. It's just I don't know if they did enough to help the offensive line. They got more weapons for him, which is great. I don't know if that's going to help down the road. I understand that Will Dissly's going to come back. They signed Greg Olsen. The defense really hasn't been the Legion of Boom status in a few years now. Your best defensive end is still a free agent. You moved on from him. We'll see. It's a wait and see type of game. That's why I'm saying 8-8, 10-6. That's kind of where I'm falling in between right now. So here we go. Cuz, you still there?
Yes, and I'm nervous for your predictions for me.
Well, don't be nervous. Remember, this is just predictions. I'm not remember, I'm not psychic. I'm not Bill Belichick. I'm not none of that, okay? I mean, I'm none of those guys. I'm just a normal dude that just looking at from what I know from last year. That's all I'm looking at as. So here we go for your Los Angeles Rams. They let's just call it what it is. You guys had a Super Bowl hangover. That's what it was. There's nothing simple to it. They had a Super Bowl hangover. It is a real thing. It happens, and unfortunately it did happen to the Rams. And I don't think I talked to you about this because I did see your post. You were a little upset that they cut Todd Gurley. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I feel very conflicted. I mean, it's been quite a few moves made. The Gurley thing, I feel like he was very, a big factor in, coming up. So I'm still conflicted, but with the knee thing, I really don't know how to feel about that.
I mean, because
you guys cut it because you don't have to pay him off. Do you?
No, the only thing I know that the Rams have to do, they just have to pay up that $1 million roster bonus that's due to him because he was on the roster a little bit after free agency. So that's the only thing they owe. After that, they don't owe him nothing. It's just $1 million is all they owe him at that point.
Right. That's why they released him by a certain date, right? So they didn't have to pay out the rest of it.
Well, I mean, because if they would have waited longer, that $1 million would have turned into 4.5. And then if he would have made it to training camp, that's 10.5. So we're talking about a $9 million swing here. So either Sean McVay was very uncomfortable paying him, or he was just uncomfortable at his knee. That's the only way I could see it. There was no other reason for it. There's no other reason.
They went hand in hand.
I mean, and then you guys decided to trade Brandon Cooks. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the only thing that scares me for you guys is that Jared Goff accounts for 54% of your salary cap. 54% of that salary cap is all Jared Goff. So
I know, and that inconsistency is what's been killing me this past year. Just that lack of confidence and inconsistency. I mean, I don't know how that's going to play out.
I mean, I understand.
Once you saw his contract, what did you see? What did you feel as soon as you found out they were paying him that much without his rookie year ending? Without his rookie contract ending?
Oh, I'm gonna let you have that one, cousin. I mean, because I knew exactly what I was thinking because I went through the same thing with Derek Carr before his rookie contract went. But I'm gonna let you have this one.
I mean, I just really, to be honest, my feelings are really up in the air because I felt really strongly about him. I felt like, okay, this is the future, worth the money. And then last year came, and I'm just thinking, well, I feel like, are you really what I thought you were without the O-line? Because, that's where I started really seeing, are you really it, or do you need other factors? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
And I've mentioned this to a couple of people, and I'm a big firm believer. Like, if I was ever a general manager, I would never pay a player 1/3 towards my cap. It's just financially, it doesn't make sense, and team building wise, doesn't make sense either. Because you give them that much, you have very little to keep putting pieces around, and then you have to hope that all your draft picks work out, because if all of them don't, then you just wasted a year. And in football terms, a year is a long time, very long time.
I think we'll be speaking about this a lot differently if the Rams would have still had a couple of the first round picks
I know.
But see, I give the Rams credit for this. Sean McVay came in and he said, "Look, this is going to be my team, and if we're going to be the new team in LA, we're going to get these people's attention, and we're going to go all in right now." I give him credit for making those ballsy moves to getting all those guys. Because you guys were so close. You guys were so close. It's just that Super Bowl game. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened.
I know.
It just.
I mean, I trust him. I trust my coach.
I wish it's harder to know, unfortunately.
It's just. But as I always like to remind my cousin, the Raiders are still the last team in LA to win the Super Bowl. So stop hating on us, okay? Stop hating on us, LA. But here we go. Speaking of Los Angeles, I do have something that's going to be very interesting. Are we going to put it on your phone? Yeah. Hold on one second, guys. It doesn't matter. It actually froze. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, there it is. So, speaking about LA, sorry about that, guys. A little something happened on my screen, but as you know, the Rams came to LA. They're promised a brand new stadium. And how are we going to open it up in Los Angeles? Cousin Lily, week 1. You guys got the Cowboys. But not only do you have the Cowboys, you have them on a very special night. Oh, yeah. Dallas, LA. That's going to be exciting. That's exactly how you want to kick off a brand new stadium. Giving them, and of course it has to be Dallas. They're America's little darlings. They have to get the first dibs on everything. So, okay, let's give them the first Sunday night football game. Let's give them the first Sunday night football game at Dallas. Are you prepared for that? Because remember, for the people out there, she lives in Texas. She is hated in Texas right now.
My God, do I hate these Cowboys.
She hates. Now, a little fun fact: her brother is a Cowboys fan. Just throw it.
Die hard. My whole family.
Just throwing it out there. So she decided to go move to Texas, and now she wears her Rams colors in the heart of Texas, and she's the most hated neighbor in the neighborhood watch group. So
for sure.
That's her life. If you think you have it tough, try her life. It is tough.
I can relate with you. I am a Niners fan in a family of Raiders.
There's always got to be one. And that's what you two are. You two little rebels, man. You just had to do it.
I'm from LA, so it only makes sense. We are not from Texas, so I don't know.
I mean, you guys are little rebels, man. And then just to keep making fun of you, not making fun of you, but to keep the fun going, are you and your man going to be okay for week 2? Because you guys got to go to Philadelphia.
We're always divided anytime we go head to head. There's always a bet, and I've lost the last 2. We didn't play last year, but
I mean, because
that's not the time. Bet big money on it.
Because the Rams got to go to Philadelphia.
Yeah, and we're going there. We don't do well.
I know. But are you and your man going to be okay?
Hey, we'll be fine.
Because, look, I can't go to Texas and be the middle guy. Week 2, I'm in Vegas for my home opener on Monday night. So I can't be there. I can't be the middle dude. I'm going to be somewhere lost in the strip somewhere having a good time. Somewhere. Whether that's
having a good time and not crying.
I mean, look, whether it's Mandalay Bay or Caesar's Palace, I will be crying at one of those 2 freaking hotels. Then it doesn't stop there. You guys got to go to Buffalo week 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh boy, here we go. Here comes the West Coast teams cannot do well on the East Coast, and it's like, oh boy, here we go.
Back to back.
And it is exactly back to back. Then you guys come home. You guys got the Giants, which is good. That's always good. Then again, back to back road games at Washington. And you guys got the 49ers, but you got them on Sunday Night Football. Like, look, the NFL schedule makers. I mean, the schedule makers gave you no love
At all.
Like your first 6 games are on the road. 3 of them are on the East Coast. 1 of them is to your division rivals on Sunday Night Football. But however, there's hope. There is hope. You guys come back. You guys play the Bears week 7. And people always tell me, I've been asked this question many times, what is my favorite theme for football? And the only theme I could think of is this one right here. I love this theme. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's when you know your workday's over during football season. That's when you know. Week 7, you guys got the Bears on Monday night. You guys have been playing them for the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, you've gotten their number. I expect the same outcome. It's Monday night. It's a brand new stadium. LA's going to be rocking. I'm going to make sure to try to get off work early because I am not going to face that traffic whatsoever. Then week 8, you got to go to Miami. You got to go to Miami. It's not as bad as Buffalo and Philadelphia,
right?
But it's still on the East Coast. And the Dolphins are one of those teams that are the unknown. Week 9 is your bye.
Dun, dun, dun.
Week 9 is your bye. The schedule makers said, screw you guys, the first 8 weeks. That's what they said. They said, screw you guys. Like, look, you're going to go on the road early. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Your 5 games out of 8, they're on the road. You're only going to have 3 home games to start off your year, the first part of your year. The schedule maker said,
stadium. Let me use it.
I mean, the problem is you have to share it. You have to share it with the Chargers. So it's kind of like, I mean, hey, it was either them or us. What do you want?
How about no one?
Look, you know better as I do. No team in LA can survive without another partner. It needs another partner.
Raiders.
I hate that.
That's the Raiders.
I hate the Angels. Like, why?
You need help. We need help. Okay? It happens. It happens. I mean, look, I understand you on that part. Look, I'm an Angel fan, and every time I go to Angel Stadium, yes, I am an Angel fan. Every time I go to Angel Stadium and I see LAA on the Titantron, it makes me want to throw up. It makes me want to puke. We are Anaheim. Let it go. Let it go.
Exactly.
That's
what I'm saying.
Like, let it go, guys. We are not even close to Los Angeles. We are in a different area code. We're in a different time. Just let it go.
I agree.
So then your bye week's over, and I'm sure a bunch of Ram fans are thinking out there, it can't get worse. But as Billy Mays said, but wait, there's more. There's more. Week 10, you guys stay home, but you guys got the Seahawks. You guys got the Seahawks.
Of course. Good old Russell.
Yep, good old Russell Wilson. Oh, but it gets better. Week 11, you guys got to go to Tampa Bay.
To play Tom Brady.
To play Tom Brady.
I hate that guy.
Look, you and about 85% of America hate that guy. Like, It's not even worth taking a poll. Okay, it's not even worth talking about it. Everybody hates that guy. I don't like him, but I respect his play because of what he's done. It's as a fan, it's all respect thing, whatever. Week 12.
You also can't forget. You also can't forget for the Buccaneers. Gronkowski is going to be coming back.
Week 12, it gets better. You guys got to.
No, it does not.
Oh, it gets better. You guys stay home now. You guys are back home.
But
the 49ers are on the schedule that week.
Boom.
Boom. Yep. Bye. Here we go again. Okay, but here they go. The NFL schedule makers. There it is. The NFL schedule makers finally threw your bone. It took until December, but you guys got to go to Arizona. It's not that bad. That's not bad. But they said, okay, but you don't have that much time to prepare because the Patriots are coming to Los Angeles on Thursday Night Football. So they tugged you a little bit and they said, nah, go back to reality. Watch this. Then you guys get a 10-day rest. You guys play the Jets at LA. Week 16, you got to go to Seattle. And then to finish off the year, you guys finish at home against the Cardinals. Just by looking at this schedule alone.
Tell me. Go on, tell me what you think.
As a Raider fan, I even feel bad for you. This is a crap. This sucks. This is a crappy schedule, man. I mean, I don't look. I understand what it's like. Okay, like I understand because we had to do this same crap last year. We had to play on the East, and we were freaking terrible. We finished. I don't know how we finished 7-9, but we finished that. I don't know how. But my God, I mean, home, East Coast, home, East Coast, at the 49ers, home, at the East Coast, then home, at the East Coast. Like, okay, like we get it. You might as well start building another stadium for the Rams on the East Coast because it looks like that's where they're going to play majority of the time.
Right.
But right now, man, best case scenario, 7-9.
You said what?
7-9, best case scenario. The worst. What's the worst? 5-11. 5-11. It's just I don't like that like what they did to you guys, like that East Coast bull crap in the beginning of the year when everybody's trying to figure out how to be a team still.
And then you throw us off
And then your bye week, it doesn't even get better either. Russell, Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyler Murray, 4 straight weeks. I mean, I'm sorry, man. That's the best I got. 7-9. I mean, it wouldn't be bad if you guys had a first rounder next year. Unfortunately, you guys do not. So, I mean, go ahead, cuz this is your floor. What do you think about your schedule?
I don't like it. I don't love it, especially going in with all these changes. We released some players that I personally felt we're doing well, and I'm not familiar with college with these new pickups, so I really don't know. We've been inconsistent for a year. This past year, I was very up and down with my emotions, especially after being. I feel pretty solid the last 2 years before this past one. So I don't know. I'm nervous. It's going to be a trick test to our team and seeing what they've been doing. The coaching, we got some new people in there too. So I don't know. We'll just have to see really and revisit these predictions.
I mean, that's going to be fun. And all I'm going to say is if Sean McVay is the offensive genius that people claim he is, he's going to have to figure something out. And quick.
I trust him, though. I do trust him.
But he's going to have to figure it out and quick because yikes. Just pure yikes. I mean, I'm going to say one of my favorite lines for one of my favorite shows growing up as a kid. It was King of the Hill, and it was Peggy watching that, the telenovela in her TV living room. And it was that little priest dude, that superhero spy priest. And the only thing I'm going to say to the Rams schedule is, que vaya con Dios, because holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but we're going to revisit this. So remember.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, and the same time I don't.
Well, gee, George, way to line up the room, man.
I'm sorry.
I mean, way to line up the room, man. Just holy crap. And then here we go. But this is something we can all agree on. We can all make fun of we're all friends here. We can all make fun of the Cardinals, right?
No. The Cardinals are the little brother in this division. You can't really make fun of them because they make fun of themselves.
Okay. See? We can all make fun of them. It's all good. So here we go. Week 1 for the Arizona Cardinals. We already mentioned it. They got to go to the 49ers. Take care of them, George. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. Take care of them. Because if you lose that one, best believe you will be getting a call from me. And not because to make fun of you, but to check up on you and see if you're okay. Because
if the Cardinals beat us at our home opener, I will be rooting for the Cardinals all the way. Honestly.
But here they go. They got to go to what? They got a home game against Washington, home game against the Lions, weeks 2 and 3. Week 4, they got to go to Carolina. Week 5, they got to go to the Jets. Week 6, they got a home game, or they got to go to Dallas, Monday Night Football. Week 7, they got Seattle. Look, the Cardinals are at week 8 is their bye. I mean, a lot of the teams they're going to face right now is the unknown. We know what the 49ers are all about. We don't know what Washington is now with the whole coaching regime. The Lions are a team that they have the players, they just can't put it together. Is this the year they do it? Carolina, same thing. They're unknown. New head coach, new quarterback, new system. We'll see. The Jets, I'm going to say it right now. It is a make or break year for Sam Darnold. So maybe he plays well or maybe they falter. I have them losing to Dallas because I just think Dallas offense was already great last year. It just got better. The only thing they need to worry about is if their defense, it doesn't have to be elite. They just need to be middle of the pack and they're fine. That's all it is. And then a home game against Seattle, I'm going to be honest with you. The Cardinals could very well be either 4 and 3, 3 and 4. It all depends. It really all depends on them. And it just depends on how they play and how the other teams play as well. So, I mean, I have them losing to the Niners. I have them losing to Dallas. I have them losing to Seattle. But I could very well see them beating the Redskins, the Lions, the Panthers, and the Jets. It's just, we'll see. We'll see. They could be very easily 3 and 4 or 4 and 3. So week 9, they got a home game with the Dolphins. Then they got another home game week 10 against the Bills. Then they go back to back. 4 days later, week 11, they got to play at Seattle. Thursday Night Football. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a game that somehow Arizona always wins. I think they win this one again just because Seattle might be good on paper, but they just slip on this one. I don't know why. It just happens. However, 10 days later, week 12, they got to go at New England.
Foxborough.
Yeah, they got to go to Foxborough at New England. Then they come back home. They got to play the Rams. Week 14, they got to go back to the East Coast against the Giants. 15, 16 home slates against the Eagles and the 49ers. Then they finish the year at LA against the Rams again. So I am very optimistic about the Arizona Cardinals. I even went out on a limb to say I think with everything that has happened, Kyler Murray will make the Pro Bowl this year. I am just that optimistic about Kyler Murray.
Woo.
I mean, some people call me crazy. I mean, some people think some people think I'm crazy. Some people think I'm going delusional. I think he shows something this year. Best case scenario for the Arizona Cardinals, 8-8. Worst case scenario, 7-9. So they are just a one-game swing from either going good or something went terribly wrong. That's the one swing I have for the Arizona Cardinals. It's just they got DeAndre Hopkins, so that has to help you at least with one game. That has to help you with one game to get DeAndre Hopkins on your team. So, I mean, that's about it. I mean, we went through the predictions. It's going to be fun to revisit that. It's going to be fun to see how the season plays out. I mean, there's a lot of excitement in this division. The 49ers are trying to get back to the Super Bowl. The Rams have a new stadium in Inglewood, California. The Seahawks are going to try to prove a lot of people wrong. And everybody's really intrigued about the Arizona Cardinals. All I'm saying is the NFC West, as I've said before, and I've told you, George, and I've told to a bunch of other people, the NFC West, it's the hardest division to play in, only due to the fact you're either really good on offense or you're really good on defense. And right now, it seems like everybody in this team is really balanced. Everybody in this division's balanced. A bunch of stuff can go haywire. And it's just going to be exciting to see how this division plays again. So with that being said, George, any last statements for your San Francisco 49ers? Okay. I mean, I thought words were going to come out, but that happens. Cousin Lily, any words for your Rams? Any last words you got?
Listen, it's just prayers at this point.
I mean, it's all about, it's like I said, que vaya con Dios, because holy crap.
I don't know. I'm hoping your predictions are wrong, you know. We'll see.
I mean, believe me, like I said, I do this for fun. I just don't want to be too wrong either. So fingers crossed. But with all that being said, I want to thank my guest today, George, and my cousin Lily. I want to thank you guys for helping me out with the show, making this a little bit more fun. I want to thank both of you guys very much.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. And no problem, George, anytime. And I want to thank everybody for watching on YouTube Live. I want to thank everybody that watched on Facebook Live. And before we log out, did we have any questions today? No questions today? I think the only questions I got were on my YouTube Live one, and it was just a bunch of Go Niners. Rams are gonna dismantle. I have people already calling me, telling me that I'm wrong about Seattle. And somebody actually pointed out the Rams are winning the division. There is one fan on my page that said the Rams are winning the division. So
here's what I'll say to that one fan. If the Niners don't win this division, Arizona's taking this division.
I mean, so it's a lot of mixed emotions, and that's what this division is. It's a bunch of emotions and a bunch of hate, but I'm here for it. I am here for it.
The NFC West is the NFC best, all right?
I mean, that's what I keep saying. It's like, dude, this division it's hard. It's like killing each other every single week.
One of us cannot be good without two other teams being good.
And that's what it is. And that's what it is right now. But the crazy thing about this division, as mentioned, every team in this division has potential to make noise. As glim as some schedules may look, every team in this division has the chance to make noise. But we will revisit this at the end of the year to see how my predictions went haywire. And if I was right, and, I'll own up to it if I was wrong. So I want to thank you guys again for joining. I want to thank everybody on YouTube Live for participating, and I want to thank everybody on Facebook Live for participating. And tomorrow, the NFC North is on the clock or is up. We got the Packers, we got the Vikings, we got the Bears, and we got the that other team. The Lions. It's just look, I feel bad for the Lions. Like I have a good friend, AJ. If you're watching this, dude, I feel your pain, brother. There's people out there that just totally forget that the Raiders are in the AFC West too. So don't feel bad, dude. I totally understand you. I understand your pain, dude. I totally get you, man. But on that note, I want to say good night to everybody, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That'll do it for this.